B flight began to cross east over the lines just north of Arras at an altitude of about 3,000 meters when I spotted a flight of 5 albatrosses 1,000 meters higher than us to the south, crossing into our lines. I turned the formation west and began paralleling the enemy aircraft in order to climb above them. Suddenly, the albatrosses took notice of our position and began diving toward our 3 Spads. Knowing we were outnumbered, I signaled to Walsh and Rogers to maneuver north with me and build distance between us and the enemy. The Albatross has a tighter turn rate than our Spads, as well as 2 Spandau machine guns to our single Vickers gun, but we have speed and climb on our side. At worst, they would be forced to attack us on the level while attempting to catch our faster machines from a higher altitude. At best, we could use our superior climb rate to secure an altitude advantage for an optimal opportunity to attack, assuming the Albatrosses continued to give chase. I eventually decided that we had enough horizontal separation from the Albatrosses. I signaled to the formation to begin climbing and attempted to keep my machine at a speed of 130 kilometers per hour. As I suspected, owing to the slower nature of the Albatross, the Germans eventually found themselves below our altitude at a distance of perhaps 700 meters, allowing us an excellent opportunity for a top-down diving attack. I'm most grateful that we rid ourselves of the slow, lumbering FE2 last month. Our new Spads fly like a dream and are more than a match for the German Albatross. I led the formation on the initial attack, picking out the machine located furthest within our lines to the west. The German attempted to stand on his tail as I was coming down on him, and I noticed a bright yellow spinner decorating his nose. When I zoomed up after my initial attack on the first Albatross, it was as if the entire enemy formation stood still in place. Such is the power of our new Spads. Having noticed Walsh and Rogers waiting above picking out a target, I committed to another attack on a different Albatross. This one had a white hand-painted number 10 on the side of the fuselage, and I put 30 rounds into this enemy machine. Not knowing the proximity of the other enemy aeroplanes, I decided to extend northwest away from the fight, in hopes that Walsh or Rogers would seize the opportunity for an attack while one of the distracted Germans attempted to follow me. Sure enough, Rogers dove on 2 Albatrosses attempting to pursue me, allowing me to climb back into the fight without any enemy machines nearby. I approached an Albatross on the level, knowing full well there were other machines higher than me. I decided to disengage as I heard the motors of nearby aircraft and did not wish to risk being snuck up on. Another albatross merged with me. As we passed, I zoomed upwards, hoping to secure an altitude advantage. I stood my machine on its tail for a moment, and then pushed my nose downwards and dove toward the enemy, but he split underneath my nose and managed to avoid any convincing shots I may have had. I found myself standing my Spad on its nose, pursuing one of the Germans downwards, and at one point managed to put his machine into a spin. Realizing I had dropped a considerable amount of altitude, I decided to zoom back upwards and immediately noticed Walsh tangling with a single albatross higher above. I put rounds into this German's machine and drove him downwards out of the fight. I noticed an additional albatross loitering on the outskirts of the engagement, as did Walsh, who also maneuvered toward him, forcing the German to pull his machine upwards in order to avoid Walsh's attack. This gave me an excellent opportunity to strike the albatross from below. By this point, we had driven down the majority of albatrosses below the fight. Despite our numerical disadvantage, I watched as Walsh and Rogers maintained their altitude and dove upon enemy machines lower than us. I dove my Spad towards one of the Germans, and he pulled his machine hard in a right flat turn, and as I overshot him, he began to stand on his tail, almost pulling his twin Spandaus to my position. I once again saw a distracted albatross, attempting to head east back towards his friendly lines. I dove on this machine, and as he was most likely keeping his eyes on Walsh, I had time to line him up in my ring and bead sight. I began firing, and as he maneuvered to avoid my rounds, his upper starboard wing detached. I watched the machine fall out of control for a moment, and then returned my eyes to any nearby enemies. I spotted a single albatross still in the area and performed a slow climbing turn over his head. I attacked this machine a final time and noticed a black, hand-painted squiggly line snaking up the side of his fuselage. Having destroyed at least one albatross and driven down the majority of them, as well as no longer seeing Walsh and Rogers in the area, I decided to not push my luck any further and began to head west back to Bézieux. I do feel most sorry for the chaps still stuck with the de Havillands and Fees. I hope we can get the majority of squadrons outfitted with properly capable machines in the near future. In that case, perhaps we really could be home by Christmas. EA broke apart in air after taking considerable damage from my machine, fell out of control on our side of the lines north of Arras,